What's up, guys, and welcome to the Tim's post-game analysis here of Washington taking on the Bills, and it was not a good day for our Washington Commanders. It was 37-3, avoiding the blowout here at the final moment. They scored a field goal with Sly 51 yards out, but let's take a look here at the team stats. Buffalo led the two teams in first downs, 20-15. They were 9 for 15 on third down. Washington only 1 for 9 on third down. You had total yards, 387 to 230 in favor of the Bills. Penalties, 6 penalties, 45 against the Bills, 2 against Washington for 15 yards. The big two differences in this game, 5 turnovers for Washington to only 1 for Buffalo, and it was a time of possession win for Buffalo, 34.5 to 25.5. Taking a look here at the box score. Josh Allen went 20 for 32, 218 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. He also had 3 carries, 46 yards, and a touchdown. Sam Howell, 19 for 29, 170 yards, and 4 interceptions. He was sacked 9 times today. A lot of them coming in the fourth quarter, but still, big day for the Buffalo offensive line. Brian Robinson ran well today, 10 carries, 70 yards, but unfortunately, due to the score, you couldn't give it to him that many more times. James Cook, 15 carries, 98 yards on the day, leading rusher for Buffalo. Leading receiver, of course, is Stephon Diggs, 8 catches, 111 yards, had a really good day. Curtis Samuel, 2 catches, 54 yards, leading for Washington. Antonio Gibson had a fumble, and it was recovered by Bernard. Leading tacklers for both teams, you had Cody Barton with 13, and Terrell Bernard had 7. He had 2 sacks as well, 2 tackles for loss. You can just continue to read. We had no sacks with our defensive line, but you had 1.5 for Daquan Jones, 1.5 for Ed Oliver, 2 for Leonard Floyd, 1 for Gregory Rousseau, 1 for AJ Epinesa. And yeah, not good. Interceptions. You had Kendall Fuller with 1. It was basically a punt. And A.J. Epinesa had an interception for 32 yards and a touchdown, as well as Tre'Davious White, Micah Hart, and Terrell Bernard all had interceptions as well. Minimal returns. On the kick, Joey Sly made his 1 attempt for 51, but Tyler Bass had a really good day. 3 for 3 on field goals, including a 54-yarder in wet weather. Also 4 for 4 on extra points. So, that is the team stats here. As far as my thoughts on this game, right? As far as my thoughts, I'm really disappointed in Eric Bieniemy. I watched the film last week against Denver, and I really became an Eric Bieniemy fan. I thought he did a great job running the football. The run scheme was great. He also really did a good job with chips on the tight ends, chips with the running backs, trying to give Howell a little bit more time. He completely went away from that this week, and he really put a hurting on Sam Howell, especially early in the game. Pressure was getting there, forcing Sam Howell to try to force some things, especially since they were down 16-0, and then he started throwing some interceptions. Sam Howell definitely did not have a good day. That's on him, right? You can complain about Eric being as a play caller, but Sam Howell clearly needs to play a whole lot better than he did. He was holding onto the ball too long, took a ton of sacks that were his fault, and also he threw 4 picks, and they were not very good throws. Poor decisions, right? Throwing one-on-one with Curtis Samuel and Tre'Davious White. Not the matchup you should be looking for, right? The Epinesa, it was not a bad decision to try to flick it over his head, but you have to get it over his head. You end up throwing it right where he can make the grab, and then you don't make the tackle on top of that. Sam Howell had his welcome to the NFL moment here today, taking his first loss in a pretty dramatic fashion. You had earlier in the game where you had a chance to get points. A lot of people in the chat were saying that he should have tried to QB sneak it, which I did like. Also, we should have just kicked the field goal. They decided to go for it on 4th and goal from the 2. Not sure. We'll have to watch the film on exactly what went wrong there, but it clearly didn't even really get off the ground. I know Terry McLaurin motioned across the line of scrimmage, tried to get into the flat, but he was covered immediately. Sam Howell really had nowhere to go. He tried to throw it into the end zone, nobody home, and incomplete. The defense is a big issue with the cover 4. I hate Jack Del Rio's soft shell defense. It really put us in bad situations. They were able to just crush us on third downs. Early on, they were 5 for 7 in the first half at some point. We couldn't get off the field. Even though we had them in 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 12s, you could not get off the field with your defense. And it's because of that soft coverage. We were just giving them the underneath. Another thing that I hate that Jack Del Rio decided to do this week, he did not put a spy on Josh Allen at all through this game. He decided to have the defensive line control it themselves, but what that did was slow down the pass rush. John Allen, Daron Payne, a lot of it had to be staying in their gap to make sure that Josh Allen did not run out and escape. But because of that, there's no pressure, and Josh Allen is just standing there forever. And then eventually a hole will open up, right? Eventually it will. If you're not rushing the passer and you're having to just stay put, Josh Allen's going to pick you apart that way. I would have much rather had our defensive linemen pin their ears back and keep a spy, considering we have one of the best spies that you can possibly have. A 6'3", 230-pound linebacker who can run a sub 4.4. That guy should be spied on Josh Allen all game long. Right? Even if you only rush 3 or 4, have Jamin Davis be your spy. Instead, we play a lot of soft zone, basically allow Josh Allen to hold on to the ball as long as he wants with no pressure, and he destroyed us with his legs, and he did a lot with his arms as well. So not happy with how the defensive coordinator performed either. Eric Bieniemy needs to go back to the drawing board, go see what worked in Denver and try to bring it elsewhere. I know other defenses are different. You have to attack them in different ways. But the biggest thing is you have to know your own weaknesses. And the main thing in your team is the tackles are not good. Charles Leno and Andrew Wiley are bargain shopping tackles. They're not good. And it's showed so often today when they were put on an island, the edge rushers were getting pressure, if not getting sacks. So EB's got to figure that out. And I'm hoping he does. Obviously, when you lose 37-3, you're not happy. That's pretty disastrous to say the least. You have to be better next game. We have the Eagles next. It's going to be another very tough opponent. But all of that to be said, 2-1 is 2-1. It doesn't matter what you did this week. It doesn't matter how bad you lost. It does not matter. The thing is that if you lost by 1 today, the same result. You would be 2-1. And going into a fresh slate against the Eagles next week, you have to coach better. Sam Howell has to play better. And we'll see what we got next week. But I appreciate all of you in the chat. We just got a new channel member. It was Roberto Brown getting your skin in the game. I appreciate that. If you'd like to become a channel member, please do. Underneath, you can hit the join button. 99 cents a month. It can help support the channel. Appreciate all of you. Also, please go and hit the follow button on our Instagram. Link will be in the description. Shout out Rye Guy for being the new channel editor. My wife's cousin. Awesome dude. And he's helping me out with that. Thank you so much for everybody everywhere. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Till next time, see ya!